Hi, I'm Debbie. I'm part of the church family here at Christ Church. And I know that if we'd had the quiz in the church building, then our pastor, Simon, would have wanted to say hello to you, and you could have grilled him a bit and asked him some questions. And I just thought this might be a good opportunity to find out a little bit more about you for people, or for you to talk a bit to people. So I've got a few questions, and some of you guys have chosen some questions. Here we go. Here's question number 1. Simon, can you describe yourself perhaps in 3 phrases?
Well, first of all, I'm married to Karina, my better half. She's from Holland. I'm a dad to 3 amazing daughters, Lydia, Rebecca and Daniela. They're a couple still at primary school, one just left primary school. And I suppose if I describe myself, I'm fairly energetic and driven in the things that I like doing, but not so good in things like DIY, which when the wife asks, or putting the bins out, things like that. But yeah, there's a few quick phrases for you.
Okay, thank you. And I know that you used to have a sort of a normal job before you took this one, before you became the church minister here just around a year ago. So could you tell us briefly sort of why you took this job? Did you sort of grow up always wanting to be a vicar, or what was it?
No, not at all. In fact, for 13 years I was like you, a secondary school teacher, and also for about 15 years I was a facilities and property manager. So no, I didn't want to always be a vicar. I was involved in local church life though, and over time, being involved in the church, more and more opportunities came my way, and someone actually came to me, 3 people actually, and said, have you ever thought about being a vicar, whatever they call it, a minister? But I wasn't brought up in a Christian or religious home at all, wasn't interested. My parents though were very kind and nice. But I suppose you can describe restless, very restless, looking for meaning and fulfillment in life. I mean, at one stage I had 9 girlfriends, not all at the same time, just to add that.
That's good to hear.
And I was just seeking something to fulfill what I think now is a God-shaped gap in my heart. Tried to get promotion through Air Force cadets. Got into sport. I became a devoted follower of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I actually got onto steroids as well. You wouldn't think now, but I wanted to go to America and be a bodybuilder. Haha, everyone can laugh. But that made me quite aggressive, and my dad, who's very skinny, I used to kind of treat him quite badly actually, because he was thin, and I despised him because he didn't have big muscles. Anyway, I met a Christian girlfriend, one of those 9 I mentioned, and she invited me to church. I wasn't interested in God or anything, but I got invited because I liked her, and it took about 3 years, but I started to hear what I believe was God's voice speaking to me through the services and through the family of that girl. And at university, Exeter University, I eventually gave my life to Christ in the 3rd year, and I can honestly say that at that time a peace came into me that got rid of that restlessness, a peace as though I had found solid ground. I felt a bit like a ship at sea, and found solid ground, a peace that has not gone away. I'm not perfect at all, obviously. Ask my wife, but I know Jesus has made a big difference. And then in terms of being a pastor, it just grew over time, but it took quite a long time before I wanted to apply for that.
Thank you. Well, I guess people would know that a church minister, a pastor, sort of stands up at the front on a Sunday and takes Sunday services, but our church building's been closed for a few months. So what are you doing now? Just sitting in your garden? Or?
I wish.
I know that's not true.
Well, we obviously do online church services on Zoom and also on YouTube, and we're thinking about putting some links onto Facebook as well. That takes a lot of preparation. A lot of my time I'm a videographer at the moment, and we do sermon recordings. We also have leadership meetings in people's back gardens. We do encouragements, like we try and phone people, or I phone people, encourage them, see people. And we've also been planning how to come out of lockdown, reopen the church safely. Actually, I think probably been a lot more busy than before in many ways.
And so are there sort of, when we get the church building back, we've got sort of events planned for, or are you going to wait and see?
Yeah, sure. There's one big event I'd like to tell you about. We've invited, we're in conjunction with some other churches, we've invited an Oxford professor called Professor John Lennox, who is an emeritus fellow of mathematics, and he's internationally well known for writing books and doing television interviews with people like Richard Dawkins, who's that strong atheist who wrote The God Delusion. And we've invited him to come to do a Zoom event in September, and he has written about trying to talk about science and faith and how they don't contradict one another, and we're really excited about that, and that's in September, and hopefully Debbie, Julian or others we'll have a date soon for that in September.
I'm all excited about that as well. I think it should be really interesting. Well, I asked our team our quiz team, if they had any questions for you, and they had quite a list, so I just picked one or two. Somebody asked, is there anything that you feel personally that during these last few months have been so strange that God has been saying to you or teaching you particularly?
Well, it's something I suppose I've learned dealing with people in the church, and it's what you get on a postage package. Sometimes you get the word fragile. I don't know if you probably can't see that, but the word fragile. Some people I've had to really handle with care because the lockdown has made them extremely sensitive, and sometimes they struggle mentally. So I would say the Lord has taught me through dealing with people just to be very tactful and have timing in when I say things, and just being supportive and being aware that people might react a bit more. So I guess handle with care. And I like to think that our church, we really do care for people and look after them. So that's probably the biggest thing I've learned is handling people sensitively. Because a lot of people suffer during the lockdown, but they don't admit it.
Just one or two more quick ones then. What makes you laugh?
Well, me and my wife love the TV series Keeping Up Appearances. It's an old series with Hyacinth Bouquet and Richard, if you know that series. We love that. We also love things like One Foot in the Grave with Victor Meldrew, the grumpy old man, and also Johnny English. My wife almost cries with laughter when she watches Johnny English, and things like Mr. Bean. We love that kind of stuff.
Okay, perhaps one more. What's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure, oh dear, right. Well, I would say it's probably eating an entire bag of chocolate raisins in one sitting. You know, I can eat a big bag of chocolate raisins. I can probably eat 2. So yeah.
They are good, aren't they?
They're good, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Anne.
Well, thanks for your time. Thank you.